Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this 3D beaded bow earring. Great for Christmas, really nice Christmas gift as well if you're looking for a last minute gift. So this is what they look like on the back as well. And these are really simple and really quick to make once you get the hang of it. So today I'm going to show you how to make these. So to make a pair of these you're going to need some size 11 Delica beads. I haven't tried it with round seed beads. I think it would work. It would be a bit bigger and probably not as crisp, like not as neat because they don't stack together the same, but I think it would still work. It just might be a slightly different shape and a little bit bigger. So if you don't have Delica beads you can try this with round seed beads, but you need size 11. You could also try this with bigger beads if you wanted to make, like say size 8 or size 6 beads if you wanted to make a Christmas tree decoration. But this is the one I'm going to be using, galvanised hot pink, because I've got a pink Christmas jumper that I want to wear it with. In fact, I'm wearing it today. And then you'll need a beading needle. I'm going to be using a size 12. You can use a size 12 or size 15. And then your earring hook or whatever you're going to use. I'm going to use these studs with the little ring on again because I like it how these sit really close to your ear, like nice everyday Christmas earring. And then your thread, and I'm using 6 pound fire line. This is a good thread for this because it holds its shape like this. It's quite structured, whereas if you were using like a Nymo or something like that, you might find it doesn't hold its shape quite as well and it's a bit flatter. So it's something to bear in mind. And you're going to need 45 inches per bow for this. I think that's everything, so let's get started. Okay, so to start you want to thread your needle onto your thread like this, and then, oh, and I've changed my colour from what I said in the beginning to galvanised magenta, because when I was tipping the other one out I didn't think I was going to have enough for a whole pair of earrings, so I've swapped colour slightly. And then you're going to pick up 4 of your beads and slide those down onto your thread until you've got about 5 inches, and hold this there, and then you're going to go up through 2 like that. So you have this. Okay, now you're going to pick up 2, and coming out the top of these 2 here you're going to go down through the top bead on the other side like that. When you pull that through, just make sure those 2 beads don't get twisted. Pull it all the way through and that they stack on top like that. From here you're going to move across to this side and up through 2. This whole bow is made up of different variations of flat herringbone stitch. So we have this. Now you're going to pick up 1, and coming out the top of this bead you're going to go back into that bead through the bottom. So you have this. Don't worry if it sits like a bit wonky, because it will straighten out in the next few steps. So from here you're going to go down through this one to the left and do the same on that side. So picking up 1, this time we're coming out the bottom of this bead, you're going to go back into that bead through the top. Again, pull that nice and tight. So you have this. Now we're working with a row of 4. So from here, coming out the bottom of this one, you're just going to go up through that one you just added so that you're on the end of the row, coming out the top, ready to add more beads. Okay, so we have this, and then what I'm going to do is turn that over because I find it easiest working from right to left in that direction. So I'm coming out the top of this bead here on the right. Then I'm going to pick up 2. And go down through the next bead in that row of 4. Okay, again, make sure these beads don't get twisted and that they stack on top. And then from here, moving up through the next bead. Like that. Pull that through. And then pick up 2 beads. And going down through the one on the end. And again, making sure that those beads are going to stack. Just like that. So from here, you're going to move up through 1 to the right. Like that. So I'm now coming out of this bead right here through the top, and then you're going to go across up through the bead on the top row on the very end to the left, like that. When you pull that through, just make sure the thread doesn't get caught over the top or anything, and that it just slots in between the beads like that. Pull it nice and tight and it should sort of vanish in there. And then again, we're going to flip that around. So we're working from this side across. So picking up 2, and it's the same thing as last time, coming out of here, go down through the next bead across, pull that through, make sure they stack nicely, and then going up through the next bead on the top. And doing the same, picking up 2, go down through the next bead, which is the one on the end. So we have this, now we're going to go across to the right and up through 1. And then across to the left and up through the one on the end of that top row. Pull that nice and tight and turn it over. So show you one more time, pick up 2, down through the next one to the left, up through the next bead to the left, pick up 2, again down through the next bead, make sure they stack, across 1 bead to the right and up through that bead, and then across and up through the bead on the far left of the top row. Pull it tight, flip it over. So we have this. Okay, so we've currently got, starting counting from where you've got the 4 beads in a row, so ignoring the first 2, you've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So these are the rows going across. So you need 10 rows of this in total of the 4 beads before we carry on to the next part. So go ahead and add 6 more rows, and then I'll show you what to do next. So when you've got 10 rows, it should look like this. So I've just finished that one and I'm coming out the end there, so I'm just going to flip it over like always. So I'm coming out of this side. So then what you're going to do from here is, without picking up a bead, you're just going to go straight down through the next one and then up through the one after that. So you're coming out of this 3rd bead along from the right. Then you're going to pick up 2 and go back to the right through and down through the bead next to it. Like that. Now coming out of this bead here, you're going to go up through this one and through the one above, so that one, like that. Pull that nice and tight. You should have this. I'm just going to flip it again, and then we're going to do 2 coming out of here and going down through that next bead. Make sure they stack on the top without twisting, and then go back up through the bead to the right and the one above. Pull that all nice and tight so you have this. And again, picking up 2. Coming out of this side, you're going to go down through the one on the other side. And then across and up through the top 2 on this column, like that. And again, picking up 2, down through the next bead, coming across and up through the 2 on this side. And we're going to do one more row, so picking up 2, going down through that next bead, make sure they stack nicely, and up through the top 2 on the other side. Pull it nice and tight, so now we have 5 rows of 2. This time you're going to do the same again, so picking up 2, going down through the next one, and then up through the 2 on this side, and then we're going to increase back to 4, so picking up 1, coming out the top of this bead, you're going to go round and through the bottom of it. Oops. You have this, now moving across to the left and down through this bead, and picking up 1 and going from the bottom round and down through the top of that bead, and then coming out the bottom here, you're going to go up through that one you just added. So pull that nice and tight, and you should have this like we did at the beginning, turning it over, and we're back to adding the rows of 4, so I'll just show you again. So picking up 2, coming out of this one, you're going to go down through the next bead, make sure they stack on top, and then coming out of this one, you're going to go up through the next one across to the left, pull that tight, picking up 2, coming out of this one, you're going to go down through that one on the end, up through 1 bead to the right, and then across and up through that bead on the end of the top row, pulling it tight and making sure you can't see that thread. Then turn it over and you're ready to start your next row. So you're going to carry on, and you need to do 8 more rows of 4. So we've currently got 2 and we need 10 again in total like this. So go ahead and do 8 more rows, and then I'll show you what to do. So I've added those extra rows, so this is what you should have now. And then coming out the end here, I'm just going to flip it over, so I'm coming out of this bead here. Again, I'm going to go down through the next one, up through the next bead, and then pick up 2, and moving back to the right by 1, going down through that next bead, across to the left and up through 2. Make sure they stack nicely like that, then flipping it over, picking up 2 and going down through the next one to the left, across to the right and up through 2. Pull that nice and tight, and now you should have this. So this is like the flat net of our bow. So these rows of 2 that you added in the middle, you need to find the middle one. So count across 3. So this row here is the middle row, and that's where you're going to be going into. So you're coming out of this end here right now, and you're going to bend this over, and we're coming out of this bead on this side. So into this 3rd row, you want to be making sure you're going into the same side, or it's going to get twisted. So coming out of this right hand side, I'm going to go into this 3rd middle row of 2 into the right hand bead coming from this side. So you want to go through that side of the bead. So like that. Now you can just sort of hold that over like that while you do it, so that it goes in nicely, pulling that tight until it closes all the way in. It's going to keep loosening off for a minute until we go through it again. And then from here, you're going to go into the end bead on this side. So we're on the right hand side, so make sure you're going into that right hand side bead. I'm just going to fold it over a little bit to, it's actually the one that my tail thread's coming out of. Start to fold it over a little bit so it's got the shape coming. So coming out of there, and we're going to go into that end bead, the right hand bead, down from the end down towards the other beads. Okay, and then pull that through. Let's get that tail one out of the way and pull it nice and tight. Okay, so this, it's kind of hard to see, but this side is connected to the middle, so now we need to connect the other side. So we're coming out of this bead here. I'm going to just go under my tail thread. I'm going to go up through that next bead. So I'm coming out of this one, I'm going to go up through that next one, and it's the beads at the end of that loop. So I am now here, and then if we turn it on its side like this, just open it back out a little bit. So I'm coming out of this bead here, and this is the middle row of 2. We're already connected on that side, we need to be going through this side, and we're coming from this side of the bow, so we need to go through it that way. Just through the one bead, which can be a bit fiddly, but like that. Okay, pull that through. So now it's connected to there, and we just need to connect it to this other loop. So coming out of that bead there, you can see it's already connected on that side. We just need to connect it to the end bead on the other side, like that. Oh, just through one. Okay, and then when you've done that, you can pull it really tight. Okay, and that is all connected. So from here, I'm going to move across and down through the next bead. And then back into that middle bead that they're all connected to. Easier said than done. Okay, now up into the first bead on the loop on the other side. This is not like absolutely necessary, but it stops it from coming undone while you work on the next part. So now we're here, now going down through the bead that's like level in the same row on the other side. Whoop, like that. Okay, and then now on this side, across through that bead that they're all connected to in the middle, and back up into the first bead on this loop on the other side. Okay, pull it really tight. Now you should find that because you've gone through it twice, it's not going to keep coming apart while you work on the next bit. So I've just taken my needle off my working thread and threaded it onto my tail thread, just because I'm going to tie the knots with that and cut it off so that it's out of the way, because it can get quite fiddly in here now. So my tail thread's coming out of this bead here. I'm just going to move up through a few beads up here now. Now I'm just going to take my needle under those threads that you can see that are connecting the two beads in the middle together. Pull that through till I have a loop and go through the loop from the bottom to the top twice. Pull that down until you feel that knot tighten, and then move my needle onwards, pulling it really tight so that you can't see the knot anymore. And then I'm going to move further away before I cut that thread. And then I'm going to thread my needle back onto my working thread. Okay, so I'm back on my working thread now. So we should be coming out of this bead here. So if you turn it on its side, you've got that middle bead that both sides are connected to. You should be coming out one above that, so this bead here. And what you're going to do is pick up two beads, and go back through that bead you're coming out of, but on the opposite side. So like that, pull it through and turning it over, so I'm working upwards like that. So we have this. Now I'm going to go up through that first bead on this same side that my thread's coming out of. Pull it tight and push them down with your thumb if you need to, if they spread apart. And then picking up two, back to herringbone again. Coming out of these two, you're going to go down through, coming out of this one, sorry, you're going to go down through the one on the other side. Like that. And across and up through the two. Keep pushing them down, make sure they're nice and tight. And again, picking up two, go down through the top bead on the other side so they stack nicely, and go up through the top two on this side. So now we have 3 rows. You're going to keep going doing that until you've got 8 rows, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so now you should have something that looks like this, and then we're just going to pick up one bead, and coming out of this one, you're going to go down through all 8 on the other side. Like that. So that bead just sits on the end, at the end of the ribbon. Now we need to reposition our thread, so you need to go back into the bead that they're all connected to at the top, which is this one here. So back through that one. Just through that one. Pull that through. And then moving up into the bead above that and going towards the right. So you're coming out of it this side, go into that bead that's above it in that direction, like that. So we are here, and then we're going to move up through the next bead, which is the bottom row of that loop on this side. So up through that next bead, just through the one, which can be a little bit fiddly, like that. And now moving down into the bead below in that direction. Okay, now we're in position to add our second tassel, so you're going to do that in the same way. It's a little bit fiddly because it's a little bit close to begin with to the other tassel, but picking up 2, going back into that bead that you're coming out of but on the opposite side so that it makes a loop. Okay, so you have your 2 beads, and then up through that bead that's on the side your thread's coming out of. Okay, and now you're going to go ahead and add 7 rows of herringbone. So same way as before, pick up 2, down through 1, and up through 2. So the same as we've been doing all the way along. So now we've got 2 rows, but you need 8 in total. So go ahead and do your 8 rows, and then we'll add the point on the end. So I've done that, so I've got my 8 rows. Then you're just going to add that 1 bead on the end, same as last time. So picking up 1 and then going down through all 8 on that side, like that. So we have this. Now we're going to move back into the piece through that bead that they're connected to. Okay, pull that nice and tight. So we have this is the back, and this is the front. We just need to add the loop now that the earring hook is connected to. So you're coming out of this bead here, you need to move into that bead in the middle. You can see that sits between the 2 that your tassels are connected to. So it can be a bit tricky to get into that bead, but make sure you do it carefully so you don't break a bead. Okay, so I'm coming out of that bead in the middle. So then I'm going to pick up 3 beads and then my earring attachment. So when you pick this up, remember that you've got a back and a front. So this is the back where your tassels are connected to, and then that's the front. So if your earring hook is like mine and it has a front and a back, like it doesn't spin round, it matters which way you put it on. Just make sure you're putting it on the right way. So 3 and earring hook needs to be that way. Let's check. Yep. Like that. And then pick up 5 more beads and slide those all down onto the thread. So you've got your 3 beads, your earring hook, and then 5 more beads. You're going to loop that over. Make sure your earring is going to hang the right way. And pull it over like this. And you're going to go back into that first bead on the loop that we're just adding. First one, you can actually go through a couple, but I'm just going to go through 1 this time. Okay, and then you want to pull that really tight. So this is what you should have. When you let go, it's going to come loose because of the weight of the earring finding. So what I'm going to do is go through all of those beads and through the earring thing again, don't miss that. And I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times, as many times as my beads will allow the needle to go through it, just to make sure that doesn't keep coming undone, so that it looks neat and tidy. And then after you've done that, you're going to move your needle back into the main part of the bow. So I've gone through all those beads again and then just moved back into the main piece by going through a bead that sits right underneath or next to where the loop is, and back up to here where I'm going to tie my knots in the same way we did earlier. Tie a few knots this time around the back of the piece and then cut my thread, and then we just need to make the other one and we're all finished. So once you've done all that, then that's your earring all finished, and you just need to make the other one to match. So this is what they turned out like. I think these are so cute and just a really nice Christmas earring, or if you don't use like Christmassy colours, they could be an earring for any time of the year. Just think they're so cute. I think they make really nice gifts as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're able to make one of these. Please comment down below anything else you'd like to see for Christmas. I've got a few coming up that I'm going to try and get out as quick as possible because we're running out of time now for Christmas. And let me know anything else you'd like to see in the new year. Like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed to see more of my videos so you don't miss out on any. And you can follow me on Instagram at Beadingbyhannah. And if you make these, I'd love to see. You can share a picture with me over there too. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.